Welcome to Mailbag, the podcast that doesn't care what you wear, so long as it's not got an LFC by Johnny. I am joined this week by Dan Vane, Matt Jones, and we just found out birthday boy Warren Doyle.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, boys. I think I'm looking all right for my age, to be honest with you. If I give myself a little big up for a minute, I think I'm doing all right.
You don't look a day over 34.
I'm definitely not, man. I'm only 28.
So am I.
What better way to spend your 35th birthday, which I couldn't believe, your 35th birthday, Dan, on Mailbag with Matt.
Do you know what? Listen, let's be honest. I'm a big Blue Room fan. Love peering on Blue Room, but it's all about Mailbag. We can sit back, kick back with a beer. We can have a relax. We can take the piss. We can swear. We can do all sorts. So let's go to it. What a way to spend the day.
Do whatever you want with it. It's a safe space. But the chief censor on board today, so.
Yeah, I'm just going to make notes every time someone says a bad word or, you know.
This is what he does. He keeps a tally.
Get it edited out. Yeah. Can't have anything too bad.
No, I think we do all right, don't we?
We do fine.
Oh, yeah, we're fine.
The Rafa Graph's on international duty this week, I'm afraid.
Are we having like the South,
isn't it?
So we have like the Southgate graph or something to replace it.
Steve Clark graph, because as we are speaking, I've got the Scotland game on. So
I don't even know what fixtures are on. What are you playing?
Scotland have got Moldova, and if they win, they're in the playoffs.
Okay.
So pretty big.
I feel like there's been like no international footy on in this international break.
It feels
like up until like right now.
But it feels like there's been more international breaks than there's ever been this season.
Yeah.
This is the last one now, isn't it? Till like the spring. So
right.
We've got a good. We've got full on Barclays to look forward to.
Just one normal.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Did you see the World Cup announcements as well? That's a load of shite, isn't it?
Is that all the clubs are closing?
Yeah, so there's going to be a break.
Oh, for Qatar.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah, from November to December.
Yeah.
Shite.
Yeah, crap.
I reckon that'll be all right, but I'm not going to get into it all now. But I think it might make for a good World Cup that all the players aren't completely done in at the end of the season.
I think my issue, it's not so much around the player welfare or even the sort of political arguments around why the World Cup should not be in Qatar. It's for kids like Jay, my eldest lad, who this is going to be like his first World Cup where he can get on the ale effectively. And you want that in summer, don't you? The World Cup, you get on the ale, the sun's out. Not going to be the same in winter.
Summer tournaments, it just sets you up, doesn't it? There's a feel good in the summer when there's a tournament on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just going to get caught up in the build-up to Christmas.
Oh, well, it's a one-off, isn't it?
It is. Well,
maybe.
It'll happen every 6 months before you know it. Right, we will get on with the hot topics. So, we'll have Everton and Scotland internationals.
Oh, okay.
As the player to shout out. If you know what this hot topic is about, definitely got Dan on for this one. What's your most far out rig out?
Gary Naismith.
Go on then, Dan.
I've worn that caftan moo thing to pick my kid up from school.
What's that? Sorry.
Like a blanket with a hole in it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's ideal school run wear, to be honest.
Yeah. I was wearing shorts underneath. It wasn't anything massively sinister, you know.
Yeah.
So I did that once. The kid wasn't impressed, if we're totally honest.
I mean, to be fair to him, though, he wears some rig outs himself, doesn't he?
My son now has got a kind of a heavy kind of member of a 70s psychedelic garage band thing going on. He's got the long, shaggy Rod Stewart mullet thing, massive flares. He tends to wear a kind of a blouse and then some form of leopard print. He looks like he's had a good night out with Keith Richards at the moment. And but yeah, I mean, you know, I've done it all really, from, you know, having to buy girls' jeans in the 90s because you couldn't get tight jeans in the 90s, so you had to buy girls' jeans. boiler suits, you know, high heels.
I'd like a boiler suit.
I've got a boiler suit now, actually. I've got a new one. It's like a quilted one. It's a army issue quilted tank commander liner. And I'll probably pair that with, you know, the problem is all my trainers are redundant at the moment. My trainer collection's been decimated in the last year because of I broke my big toe, and it's healed back weird, and I've got a lump on the on the knuckle, and it's basically meant that I can't wear gazelles, handball, specials, gazelle indoors, sandals.
That's heavy, not being able to
all the
wear
nice
them.
sleek Adidas ones.
All the low profile Adidas.
Yeah.
All my Pumas, my Puma Londons, Puma Amsterdam, all have to go. And I'm down to basically runners. So I've got a few pairs of like Kahoo and and of course my infamous Croc collection.
You were doing so well, Dan. You were doing so well.
He's got Crocs that have got a backpack on them, man.
Incredible.
I argue with that.
So
just had an image of Dan walking around like Michael Keane that time. He had to wear that boot that was like just too big because his foot was messed up.
I swear he's wearing that again this season. You know,
I've got this pair of Diodora trainers they're like a designer collab with a Italian designer who calls himself LC23, and he did 3 different Diodoras, including Bjorn Borg Elites, and each one had Pink Panther as the theme. So they're all pastel colours, and every one has got a little Pink Panther poking out somewhere on the shoe. And I bought all 3 of them, and I can't wear any of them. And the other day, the sun was out, and they were staring at me in the cupboard, and I thought, come on, my toe hasn't hurt for a couple of days. I'll give them a go. And I walked out my front door with the dog, got to the end of the street, saw one of my neighbours, and just turned back round and hobbled home, took them off, put them in the box, slipped on my Crocs and stuck them on eBay. So yeah, it's that's been pretty devastating. But yeah, as far as clothes, you know me, Les, it's a dungaree world for me. And when you're North London's premier Uncle Albert impersonator, you know, you've got a sort of a stylish avenue to protect. You know, I like to look
about in a car coat.
No, I like to look like well, my time of the year is coming up soon. You know, December. I get to look at kids in Iceland who are misbehaving and give them that look, and they kind of go, "Shit, it's him." And so yeah, my festive period is upon me soon. So, but yeah, it's comfort rather than speed now for me, you know.
Fair enough, man. Oh, what story was that from, by the way?
Mr. Calvert-Lewin's gorgeous pair of culottes.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. There's some great photos from that shoot as well. There's some other
amazing, yeah. Although he does look like he's on Ket in most of them.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a far outlook, hasn't he?
He's like. Yeah.
But lots of people kicking off saying like, "Well, he looks ridiculous." Well, it's a fashion shoot, kind of the point, you know.
I saw someone say
like that.
I saw someone say he should be sold.
Everton,
which was just one of them. The one, you know, the ones that just your brain ends up dribbling out your ear hole. You can't quite believe it, and
yeah.
So I
he
saw
spends as much time on the training ground as he does in the fashion studios.
Why isn't he getting fit down the gym instead of being injured?
Exactly.
He's too busy wearing clothing that's not appropriate.
It's very difficult though, isn't it, to do shuttle runs in slip-on brogues?
I reckon he should wear them for the game.
He'd still be better than Rondon, let's face it.
He would, yeah. Go on then, Warren. You are wearing a particularly far out football shirt tonight.
Do you know what?
Is that your contribution?
I was just about to say, people who watch this on YouTube are probably looking at this and thinking, what on earth has he got on? But when those of you remember when COVID first hit and that Pescara got a 6-year-old Italian kid to design a home shirt that was specially released to raise money for the efforts in Italy. So I bought one and, doing my bit. So I've got that on at the minute. I'm quite sort of a plain sort of, I'm very much, Dan mentioned there about comfort. I'm very much trackies, t-shirt, hoodie. Even when I go out, just to the shops or whatever, I'm very much just anything comfortable. So I've always been quite sort of sports top trainers type of person. And it's like even with my job, I'm in shorts all year round with my job. So I've been wearing uniform, like P kit all year. So I just comfort all the time. But I remember when I was about 13, 14 and white tracksuit bottoms were a little bit in at the time. And I remember buying an Adidas pair of white tracky bottoms with a nice white hoodie. And it was like the big baggy, because at the time baggy was the style. So big baggy tracky bottom, big baggy hoodie. And a few years back, I was doing a little sort out of all my gear, all my clothes, and opened up the wardrobe and I saw these white tracky bottoms. And when you just go, why did I think that was a good idea? Like I look like one of the Blazing Squad if I put it on. Do you know what I mean? So I look back at that. That was probably my most horrific. But it's like anything in it at the time. You go, yeah, it's fashionable. When you're young and that, you wear what's going in at the minute. And the kids I teach now, they're all going for that. They've all got this like short hair at the back and side, but the curly sort of mop that goes down the front. Yeah. That's very in with all the kids now. So they've all got them, and I'm one of them, since I was the age of 3, short back and sides, little trim on top, and that's as far as I go. So I'm a little bit plain. I'm not really out there for the whole Calvert-Lewin sort of, what do you want to call it, brashness and adventurous fashion type. But I do have to say, those of you who've ever played LA Noire, the video game, it's set in 1940s LA, and I've been playing it recently. So I'm after the 1940s style suits with the hat. For the Christmas do, I'm after that. So that's probably as far as I'll go. But yeah, I'm quite plain Jane, to be honest with you, with my fashion
baggy
sense.
Checks. Big baggy
it's
shoulder pads.
It's the very the sort of detectives at the time who sort of, it's that it's a bit like the suits now, to be honest with you. But yeah, they all wear the hats. If you'd imagine, I'm trying to think of an example. Sort of, what was the thing Stephen Graham was in? The big American thing that everyone watched.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, that sort of style, the Chicago, Al Capone, that sort of style. So yeah, I'm after one of them for our Christmas do for work. So
like a trilby hat.
Yeah, and that's as far as I want a little few heads to turn now and again. Do you know what I mean?
Do those white tracky kecks still fit, by the way? You must have tried them on again.
Mate, they must do, because they were that baggy. You know what it was like, 90s, early 2000s? Yeah. Everything baggy was in, and like, it was the Backstreet Boys and all them were wearing the baggy jeans, and it was just in, wasn't it?
They'll still be massive on you.
I'll make it. Like, I've got Everton kits from the 90s that still fit me, because every fashion was baggy. So
mine still don't fit me. They're that big. Matt.
Oh God, I am not adventurous at all when it comes to clothes. I remember when growing up, I had like a lot of cargo pants when they were in. They were a thing for a bit, weren't they? So I got them. I think that's like the most extravagant thing I've ever worn on like a night out or anything when I was younger is some like braces over the top of my shirt.
Oh, nice.
That is genuinely it. That's the only time I've ever had an accessory on my clothes.
Did you feel dead self-conscious, or were you all right with it?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really care. It's just not really something I'm not interested in. I just get pretty plain clothes from all the usual boring places. I've got like a few footy jackets from teams overseas and stuff. Like
you do have some great tracky tops, I've got to say.
I've got
a great collection.
I've got a Torino one, a Boca one, and a Marseille one. So they're sort of on like a bit of a rotation at the moment. But other than that, not really.
Lovely stuff.
I really want one of those. Have you seen the American club Forward Madison?
Are they the flamingo ones?
Yeah, they're made by Hummel.
Yeah.
And they do these. They've got this. I think they go through kits like you wouldn't believe. It's terrifying. And I think last year's away kit was like palm tree leaves. and it's in like neon pink, sort of sea blue, green, and then their logo, their badge is like a pink flamingo and stuff. And they've also had one recently that was like a swirled marble kind of psychedelic thing, but it's all in this blue, pink and green sort of thing. They do them on classic shirts, classic footy shirts or whatever it is. And I really want one of those. I really want one of those Forward Madison shirts. Because Hummel are really smashing it for them. They're doing some really, they've obviously been told you can do what you like. And they're pretty wild shirts. They're pretty crazy.
I've just thought Tom Davis and Calvert-Lewin should design the next Everton away top.
Yes, mate.
Oh, could you imagine the Dars with that?
You imagine the crushed velvet training gear.
Oh my God. Sensational.
With a little cravat, crushed velvet leisure suit. Oh, mate.
Well, I used that Football United gif of Vic Reeves on the tweet for this.
Yeah.
Less than that, and I don't want to know.
What an idea, Les.
Right, next up, Everton players, Scotland internationals at the ready. What's your biggest disappointment?
Richard Goff.
He wasn't though, was he?
No, he was good.
He was all right, just coming at us at the wrong time, didn't he, again?
Yeah. Go on, then.
He was all right, wasn't he? He was good for
was great.
He was good for, no, but he's just too old when he comes to us, wasn't he? Like, we could have done with him again 5 years earlier, because he was great. He was really good.
What story is this from?
I don't know if this is right. When you put the tweet out earlier, I was thinking, what story is it? I didn't know. So I'm going to just take a wild guess. Is it anything to do with the climate summit, COP20?
It's not.
It's not.
No. Anyone?
I don't know.
Idea. It's
no idea.
Story for any Toffees out there.
Go on.
It's the boy who cried himself to sleep after being refused entry to a match. Have you heard about
I did hear about this, yeah. I
mean, his dad sounds like a bit of a strange fella, doesn't he? You read that. And I think he said he sung him to sleep with You'll Never Walk Alone or something.
He did. I mean, that was the chef's kiss moment of the whole. So the story was this fella from Brighton is 8-year-old lad, obviously from Brighton, is absolutely Liverpool mad. So Soft Ollie's his dad got him a ticket to the game. Yes, son, we're going to watch the Reds, is right. But he got him a ticket for the home end at West Ham. So basically the story goes, he didn't realise that you couldn't get in the home end, if you were an away fan and all this.
Didn't he have his Liverpool kit on as well, the kid?
The kid had underneath a camo jacket.
Ah, okay.
So he was fully aware.
They were going in undercover, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. The kid was invisible to all intents and purposes. So yeah, I think he was just going for the big compo thing. Basically, Bobby Firmino, give us your shirt, that kind of thing.
Just stand outside the ground crying, while I take this photo of you, please, son.
He videoed them outside the ground crying.
God. I think I speak for all of us when I say he fully deserved everything he got.
Rules are rules at the end of the day.
Rules are rules.
And the best thing is as well, his day was made even worse because he got beat. So, that kid has possibly had the worst day of his 8-year life. And I'm there for it because it's a great story.
Listen, it builds character, doesn't it? So deal with it.
Does.
As soon as I saw that line, like the you never walk alone bit, like quote, it's all very like Bill Kenwrighty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's all like just like very flamboyant worded, and like it's a bit like, have you just set this up a little bit? Are you over-egging this a fair bit?
I'll read it. So his dad said, the poor boy was inconsolable, locked out of the stadium as the best day of his life turned into the worst day of his life. As he went to sleep that night sobbing. My best to comfort him by reminding him of that timeless Liverpool anthem of strength and hope and resilience.
It's unbelievable.
And then he goes on to sing it too. I'm not going to go there, but Jesus. Absolutely.
Do you know what? If you'd have took the team out that story and you'd have said to someone, right, I'm going to read you this story now. Which team do you think it is? You just knew it would be them, wouldn't you? You just
100%. It could only be them. So that's the story anyway. Warren, Everton aside, what is your biggest disappointment?
Oh, this is a great question. My biggest disappointment. Oh, I tell you what, it'd have to be, and it's a bit of a boring answer. With when we teach your head on, but I look at our kids now, and I look at some of them who don't necessarily work as hard as they should, and I always say to them, you don't want to be like me. Because when I was 16, I wasn't the brightest, but I was all right. I was intelligent. I could get by. And I didn't work hard for my GCSEs or my A levels at all. And looking back, I should have got well better results. And I'll never forget, it was results day for GCSEs, and all my mates opening the brown envelope, and they're all bouncing because they've all got great results. And I'm sort of like that, peeking at mine and really disappointed. A few decent ones, but a few more disappointed than decent. And I was giving it yeah, I've done really well, same as you, lads. So I think, oh, we'll all go out tonight and have a good time. And yeah, I didn't work hard enough. And the penny eventually dropped when I was a bit older that, you need to sort of work a bit harder to get what you deserve. So fortunately, I've changed my mindset on that side of things now. But yeah, at the time, I was just deflated because, I know it's cool to say you don't like school or whatever, but when you're not doing as well as your mates, and when, you want to do well for yourself, and it ends up being not as good as you'd hoped or you'd want. And it was my own fault, as I say, because I didn't do what I should have done. So yeah, that was probably my biggest disappointment, the exam results when I was GCSE and A level.
Oh, that's quite an upsetting story, that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, very serious answer.
I mean, I suppose the question inherently is going to be a little sad.
What's your biggest disappointment? Myself.
But listen, to end on a happier note, I got a good degree out of it in the end, and I've worked and got a decent job out of it. So it's had a happy ending.
You could always say, mate, when you walk through a storm, there's a golden sky, a golden sky at the
end. Oh God! I mean, if we had the bottle to, the title of this podcast should be "Why End Up." Matt, go ahead.
A completely different topic, but when I saw when you said that, the biggest disappointment, emphatically for me, is stuffed crust pizzas. Like when I saw those things, first and foremost, I was like, they look unbelievable. Like a bit of garlic and herb sauce in the crust, or a bit of cheese in there. That sounds boss. And then you get one, and it's shite, isn't it? Just like cheese in that's rubbery, bit messy. Just dip your crust in some sauce or something instead. Yeah, I remember being so excited the first time I got one, and then it was like
the weird one. The weird one's the one that's got a sausage running through it.
Oh, the hot dog one. Yeah, I've not had that one before. But
what is that?
Looks horrific, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, mate, it looks like a pepperami snuck into a sleeping bag.
Have you seen that thing that was on online ages ago, but it was like sort of secrets of how they sort of present food for adverts?
Yeah.
When they do pizza things, like it's glue, isn't it? It's like PVA glue or something.
Yeah, and like
it's all stringy.
Yeah,
they put salt in beer, don't they, to make it fizz up.
Yeah,
look fizzy. Yeah. Absolutely. I have to say, just listening to Matt's answer, I realised the tone of which I should have answered. So I'm a bit disappointed in myself again now. 2 double disappointments in myself.
Go on then. What is it? Oh, right.
Right. Anyway,
we're not angry with you.
I know.
Disappointed.
Just disappointed.
Dan.
I've made many a wrong turn in the road of life, and my face is a skin map of most of those mistakes. But to keep it light, I think one of my biggest disappointments was many years ago. I went out quite a lot. I was more out than in, if I'm honest. And I had a period of time where a good friend of mine who was a very famous and very attractive male model, used to be one of these kind of clipboard hosty types at all these horrific C-list celebrity nightclubs in the West End. China Whites, Attica, Funky Buddha, you name them, I was in them. And one night I was in a particular one, which I was in every Thursday. You could see me there. And I was in there once with a couple of Premier League footballers, several members of Blue. But that night I was in there with a very famous DJ, and the night had gathered a particularly large amount of momentum at that point. And it was before Ubers and stuff. You had to get this thing called an Addison Lee, which was like a private hire people carrier, blacked out windows, the works. And he was like, we're all going back to mine in the wilds of Surrey, and there's a big party, jump in. He had like 3 of them outside the club, and we all jump in, and we get to Marble Arch, and I'm in one of them at the front with him and a couple of ladies, and he turns around to me, and he's a bit older than me at the time. I was only in my early 20s, and he turns around to me and he goes, "Look, son, I think I'm on here, so you're gonna have to get out."
Oh no!
Right? And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Look, where do you live?" I said, "I live in Camden." He went, "Right. What we'll do, you jump out on Marble Arch. I'll take, back to mine. Sorry about that, but lovely meeting you, blah, blah, blah." And he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a humongous wad of money and just stuffed it in my pocket. And the cab pulled over and they threw me out, basically, on Marble Arch. I pulled out this wad of money, and there must have been nearly £1,000 there, right? Along with some South American marching powder.
Just standard DJ fuel.
And I was like, shit. So I jumped in a cab and went home. I proceeded to take that money and those drugs out with me every Thursday for the next 2 months. Because I was convinced that I had to do the right thing and give this man his money and his drugs back, because that's what honest, young, courageous human beings like myself do. And eventually, 6-7 weeks into this, carrying this fuck ton of money and these drugs around, every time I went out with my bus pass and my 10 fags, I bumped into him. And he looked at me and went, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh, God.
And I went, "What?" And he went, "Sorry, mate, I don't know who the fuck you are." And I went, "Right." He went, "Anyway, cheers for that." Took him off me.
Oh,
Right.
damn.
And my mate, who was standing next to me, went, "What have you just done?" And I went, "Well, he bunged me it." Like, he went,
Damn. I feel bad for you.
He's like, "Dan, the geezer knows, he doesn't know what he's doing most of the time. What is wrong with you?" I was like, "I just thought it was like the right thing to do and karma and shit." And he just went, "You knobhead." And that was that. And that was one of my biggest disappointments, was being, honesty does not pay.
I don't feel too bad about messing up my exams now.
I mean,
three
that's
very
like
different answers there.
Yeah, I mean, that one was like a disappointment roller coaster. Every bit was like, "Oh, that's disappointing. Oh, fuck, that's disappointing." If there's any consolation, though, right? What I've found is what's really disappointing is any party after like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's crap.
It's always crap. Yeah, it's always, yeah.
So, you probably dodged the bullet, really, not going to that party.
Well, I would have had to have got back from Surrey as well.
Well, there you go.
But knowing him and his chaotic state, I probably would have got a helicopter.
Essentially. But anyway, it all worked out for the best in the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, I went bald and grey.
the very next day. Right. On that bombshell, ask us anything. So, Foxy has said blue letters, which sounds like a good idea for some sort of adult patron. But anyway, which 2 fervent Everton FC supporters' correspondence would you like to see published? What would they talk about? And how much could they sell it for? So I think this is on the back of the rap, doing some memoirs between a couple of them during lockdown and selling it for 30 quid a pop. People will buy it. Anyone want to chip in first with this?
So it's 2 Everton supporters who are going to be writing back and forth.
Like pen pals, yeah. Let's say during lockdown, we're all stuck in the house, we can't see each other. were writing physical letters as well, because that's undoubtedly what they did. These weren't emails. These were letters posted by pigeon.
I'd want it to be between two Evertonians that don't like each other.
Oh, that'd be good.
And like the letters
That could be any two Evertonians.
I was going to say that is a large sample size.
How about that fella who sits behind the microphone in the Bullens and Stuart Atwell? I don't know if Stuart Atwell's a blue or not, but let's say he is for the purpose of this. But I mean, I would love to read that fella's correspondence. You know, he shouts all this stuff out of the match. Imagine if he had time to think about what he'd say. He'd absolutely eviscerate him.
Yeah, into that. Definitely. Warren?
Oh, do you know what this is like? I didn't understand, I'll be honest. I didn't understand the question at first, and now you've broke it down and explained it. It's such a good question. Two Evertonians who could write to each other and be mates. You tend to want to go down the famous Evertonian lines, or you then go with someone like, you know, John Parrott and Judi Dench or something like that. Because remember, you know, our Jude is a big blue. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, is Sly still on there? Sly still got a season ticket, has he, in the main stands? I don't know. I haven't seen it for a while.
I think he jibbed it after having that one cup of tea in the main.
Burnt his lips.
Yeah,
burnt his lips. I don't know. I think it'd be funny to get someone like, I'd say it'd be good because he'd probably be a bit older now. Do you remember the picture of the kid who was standing on the board and he was like screaming?
Yeah,
it went quite viral, and he's probably a teenager now. Someone like him with someone dead random like Liz from Atomic Kitten. just to see what the conversation they'd have, you know. There you go.
Very good shouts all round there, mate.
just while we're on, just while we're I don't know if it was Blue Kiffer back in the day or whoever, they did a list of famous Evertonians to the ones like who you definitely knew were like were Evertonians, like John Parrott, a few other people, you know, whatever. And then it went to like the really sort of like tenuous links because they visited Liverpool once, and they met Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney took them to a match, and there was just this list, like the Queen was on it, like tenuous links of like Queen was on it, and then what was the Indian fella who the Beatles went and visited, and they all got the Shari Kari, or what is he called? The fella in
Krishna.
Harry Krishna, that's it, yeah.
Harry Krishna
was a blue because Paul McCartney went over there and told him about the stories of his days in the lower Bullens watching Everton. So Harry Krishna's a toffee. So it was dead funny. It was just all these random tenuous links of people who could be Evertonians. So yeah, I have to dig that out and find it because it was a funny read.
Pick any two from that.
Yeah.
Dan?
Well, I was looking at exactly that list today.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it is proper berserk. And they've got Mary Berry down there, man.
Mary Berry?
Yeah, hang on. I've got it here in front of me.
How about Mary Berry and Wayne Rooney?
Right. They've even got the geezer who played Harold Bishop in Neighbours.
That's it, yeah. I remember.
Harold Bishop and Harry Cross. That'll be a better.
Sharon Core.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's the tenuous Beatles things, obviously. But yeah, it does get very random. I mean, the Mary Berry is just belter, isn't it, really?
I've heard that one as well, though. Apparently she is.
But I think any correspondence from our beloved Bill would be hilarious, and people would pay to read almost anything he decided to scribble down on a post-it note.
I think especially looking at that graph that's come out today about the old FFP thing, what you can spend, and Ken writes a session that, do you know what? I've had football club owners come up to me and say, I always think, what would Everton do in this?
I wonder if he signs everything, the highly revered
Mr. Everton.
Top.
Yeah, I think you know any kind of correspondence from Mel Bluebill would be quite interesting because I'm sure it'd be wonderfully dramatic, incredibly blue tinted, and probably absolve him of all blame.
pretty much.
What about Eddie Howe and Amanda Holden?
Yeah.
I could get a bit. I reckon. Did you see the video Newcastle put out of Eddie Howe?
You're just legging it around.
In a suit.
The one where he's staring down the camera like he's in a Hugo Boss advert.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Yeah, weird, mate.
Yeah, very odd.
But it's like that lot, isn't it? Posting about Gerrard joining Villa.
Oh, that was strange, wasn't it?
You know what I mean? I mean,
Really weird.
I must admit that's the thing that is I'm most sort of worried about, in the sense that it's bad enough the kind of general gag-inducing, fawning kind of stuff we have to put up with from Danny Murphy et al. But what's it going to be like when he's standing on a touchline somewhere at, Watford on Match of the Day? I know, on like Football Focus, and they've got Danny Murphy in the studio, and they go, "We're going live now to Vicarage Road, and we're going to speak to Steven Gerrard." And it's just going to be the most fawning, licking, sanctimoniously. It's just going to be.
We're going to have to put up with Martin Tyler as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh.
I can almost see the cop ends when they play Villa at Anfield with "Thank you, Gerrard" posters all held up. I can see it now.
There's going to be something horrible.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like hyperbole, I was watching or Footy Focus, I think it was. No, it was the build up to the Plymouth game. Ryan Lowe's their manager, isn't it? And it was they had someone talking about him, and he said, he's worked under Kenny, he's worked under Brendan, he's worked under Jurgen, and he's a little bit of all three.
Christ, that's horrific.
It's like
dry-lipped, big-teeth prick.
If only that could be the title.
We'll move on. My one for this actually would be Ryan Reynolds with anyone. The Blue Room's Ryan Reynolds, not the Red.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Would it be Ryan Reynolds pretending he is the actual Ryan Reynolds as well?
That was funny, wasn't it? When someone was looking for that. She said something about him wearing grey tracky kecks. Thinking it was Deadpool. No, wrong one. Amazing. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds all day. Kasabia's asked, now that we can officially give up on AFC on the pitch, which other Prem team would you support if Everton didn't exist? Got mine. Dan?
Mine would be something that would be forced upon me due to my family background.
I know where you're going.
And the fact that I'm a famous player of this football club.
Yeah.
There were two famous footballers I was going to be named after. My mum had one, my dad had the other, and my mum won. And I am named after the infamously wonderful and fabulously talented Danny Blanchflower of Tottenham Hotspur. So,
who's that?
Jimmy Greaves.
Okay.
I was going to be Jimmy. But yeah, whole family Spurs. So if Everton didn't exist, then that's where I'd end up.
You'd have an equally unhappy existence.
It'd be equally as shit watching Mr. Knick-Knack ankles bowl around like he can't be fucked.
Warren, who would you go for? Do you know what? I'm gonna throw a bit of a. I don't know. I just couldn't imagine support. I know it's like, I know we say how much Everton do already, but I couldn't imagine really supporting anyone else. They're my team. But what I will say is, I don't think I could support anyone else. But our school team got to the National Cup final last year, and it was held at Sellers Park. And Crystal Palace were an excellent host. They really looked after us that day. They made sure we were all, fed. They made sure we had all the facilities in use for us. They really did look after us. And I come away from it with a really high opinion of them. And I thought, that's a good club there that have looked after us. So not saying I'd be a Palace fan, but I'd just come away thinking, do you know what, they're actually an all right club. And I've always had a little bit of a thing for Sunderland as well. I think Sunderland are a decent club. And they've got to put up with the Geordies, haven't they? But I think I would be. I might have told the story before on this show. Maybe not Premier League, but in Scotland, we were supposed to play Hearts in a pre-season friendly one year, and whatever way it worked out, Hibs drew Rangers in like the Challenge Cup when Rangers got relegated those years because of the financial situation there. So you couldn't obviously have the two Edinburgh teams play on the same day, and we only had train tickets up to Edinburgh for the Saturday. So what are we going to do? We can't watch Everton Hearts because that got moved to the Sunday. So we went and watched Hibs, and they took us in. They were really overwhelmed that, you know, two Evertonians, me and my mate, had gone up to watch them. And we've been up since a few times, and I really enjoy going up to Easter Road and Edinburgh when we get up there. So I think if I had to support anyone else, it'd probably be Hibs.
Yeah, I'd like to give it.
I know that's not a Premier League team, but...
Fine, mate. It's all right. Matt?
I admire the fact these are all going for like teams that are still quite shit. Like, I'd probably still just. Do you know what? If everything just ceased to exist and we could support someone, I'd probably go City and just watch us win everything. Not enough mediocrity, you know. Just pick a team that's going to actually bring you some joy, at least. If yours literally ceased to exist on top of all the other stuff we've had over the last few years, but. I think in the past we've had this question. I think I've said Villa, but obviously not them now. My God,
no. Ruined it completely.
Yeah, they have ruined it. Yeah, but West Ham are the sort of getting a bit more likable. I think with Moyes, I really like Declan Rice as well.
Yeah,
like I used to think he was overrated and a bit of a tit, but now I think he's actually really good and
he's very good, isn't he?
Yeah, so I think he comes across as a really good lad and a good player. So, I mean, the owners are still horrible people, obviously, and the ground is utterly horrendous. What are we watching them? I think if you could put West Ham back in Upton Park, I'd probably say them.
I'll go with that.
I went right off West Ham when they stopped giving us 6 points every season. Bastards. That was always a sure thing now. I think mine would be Palace, to be honest, because we've been Palace fans at least once in our lives, haven't we?
Their recruitment's brilliant as well. Their recruitment in the last sort of year or so.
Yeah.
Elise, Eze, Gallagher, you know, they're really picking up some bright young talent, aren't they? And
I think Vieira's surprising everyone, isn't he?
Yeah. Although you could just go for Venezia, mate. Best kids.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm a bit of a match slag in Italy because I've got two teams now. Tina's first and foremost my team, but like obviously I follow Venezia as well now. So
best kits, man.
Not ideal. They are really good. That new away one they've got's amazing. Capital. Brilliant. Laura's asked, what's your go-to train for a long train journey? This is the most imaginative question she could think of whilst eating her train snacks. Dad, I think she'd eaten within about 15 minutes of the journey. And I think she was on a pretty long haul one by the sound of it. So, Matt, train snacks, what you going with?
You've got to be careful, haven't you? Because you don't want to like have like crisps which you smell horrendous and like everyone's looking at you.
Like butties.
Like beef hula hoops. Like you open a pack of them on the train, everyone on that carriage knows about it. And the smell lingers for a while. Especially on a busy train. And like they're really crunchy as well, so you can't sort of eat them slyly. You know, everyone, you need like a quadrant to be able to have them. Like so you can properly enjoy them, not people looking at you and judging you. So I'll probably go for like those big chocolate buttons you get. The big packs.
The big, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go for them. I think that they don't make much of a noise. They don't smell bad, and you can sort of just eat them slyly and subtly.
It's very considerate. Like it. Warren?
For me, I just associate train journeys with ale. Obviously, going to away games and stuff like that in the past, so it would be ale. But just salt and pepper, salt and vinegar, like chipsticks. I know Matt said there about the crisp, but just something simple, something salty to wash the ale down with. Or the other way around, sorry, to wash them down with ale. Did you see the picture while we're on this, by the way? Did you see the picture? You must have all saw it of the Fulham away day where they had the cheese board out.
That's what they were.
Amazing.
Do you know what? Like, I'm not a cheese ball fan. Like, when it comes out at Christmas and all that, it's not for me. I've never been like into me cheese or not. But I applaud the invention and the the attitude towards that, because that must have been for them lads or whoever it was on the journey, must have been a brilliant little experience having all that. So yeah, go with that, definitely.
Give me that over a plastic bag full of cans any day.
Yeah. Well, steady on, Les.
they had cheese and pork, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that is some.
It's a little bit overkill.
It's very full, isn't it, that?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, as much as I'm applauding them, if I went on an away day and I saw a group of Evertonians with cheese and pork, I'd go on the next carriage straight off.
I am next train away day I go on, I am doing that.
I'm going on the next carriage.
I remember going once, I think it was either Nick Ellis or Professor Yaffle at St. Bride's Church. And the fella sat in front of me. You could take your own ale to it because it was in the church, they weren't selling any. And the fella in front, who was sat in front of us, him and his missus, took a load of deli cheese, olives, and we're having this massive sort of spread right in front of us. I have never been so jealous of anything in my life. It looked sensational. And he was passing the cheese round in the end. It was great. Communal cheese, the way to go.
That's the title, by the way, Communal Cheese.
Train snack.
Recently, I was getting the train back from Edinburgh. I've been working at Edinburgh Craft Beer Festival for the weekend. And I had an open ticket. So I met a friend of mine in an incredible pub in Edinburgh. It's in a part of the city where it's all those humongous sort of industrial era, beautiful houses that have got the gated gardens on every single one. And it's called, forgot it. Anyway, I'll think of it. But it's like this tiny one-story pub in a mews around the back of nowhere. And I turned up to have a few pints there, and there were like 3 blokes queuing outside. And I love that kind of vibe. I love men queuing outside pubs, waiting for it to open. Can't get enough of that. So I had a few pints and then had to get a train. And on my way in, there's a Marks and Spencer's on the platform at Edinburgh train station, Edinburgh Waverley. And I grabbed a 4-pack of Tennants, a pack of truffle and olive oil crisps, and a kind of hooky wine gum from Marks. And it was, I mean, maybe it was because I was a little bit half cut, but man alive, by the time I got to Newcastle, I'd ate like a king.
Was it the complete meal?
It was, yeah. You know, I got on, I managed to snag a little table, you know. So I had my table, I had my phone plugged in, I had my 4-pack of Tennants on the table, my olive oil and truffle crisps, and my little, you know, 5 a day wine gums by the side. Stuck my headphones in, man, and just cruised. By the time I you know, it does go through you quite quickly, beer on the train, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So I was up and down a bit, but the heavenly aroma of kind of E-numbers and truffle oil combined with, you know, Scotland's finest beverage, the Big Juicy, or vitamin T, as they. Well, I tell you, I just thought this is the way I always want to travel, you know.
In that situation, the worst possible thing that can happen is you see someone you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure that at one point, probably around York, I was probably buzzing my face off on truffle oil, crumbs in my beard, you know, a couple of empty cans by my side, chuckling to myself at my little podcast in my ear holes, and someone probably thought, you know, that man's a worry. But yeah, by the time I got into London, 5 and a bit hours later or whatever, absolutely breaking my neck for a piss. But yeah, I got home, you know, I floated home, mate. Floated home on a Tennants and truffle wave of ecstasy.
That's quite euphoric, I've got to say.
Yeah.
I've just bought some truffle cheese from Sainsbury's, which is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Truffle cheddar.
Yeah.
Do that classy on Mailbag. Final question, and it's Rob from Oklahoma. You might know him. He's visiting Liverpool soon, and he wants to know where he can find the best pizza on Merseyside. Now, typically, no one is still on from Merseyside because Matt's up. Paddy Boyland, also now known as Egbert Agatha, said, Rudy's, I will take you. Completely forgetting the fact that the last time Rob was in town, we all took him to Rudy's. Mark Mosey said Brimstage, which is a little village in Wirral that's got a brewery that does a pint called Trapper's Hat, which is particularly good. And Laura said on the 437 beer bar, she said bar crawl, pub crawl, potato, tomato. So what I've suggested is the 437 is the bus that goes from Liverpool right through Wirral to West Kirby. And there's a load of great pubs on the way. So I've suggested we just jump on the 437, get a save away, jump on that, jump off, random pub.
Yeah, do that.
I'm absolutely, I cannot wait for my Wirral Odyssey with you, Les, at some point
Mate,
in the near future. It's something that I've not, I'm yet to experience, but it's something that, like looking forward to that, your 18th birthday and your first legal drink, or whatever it is, your first driving conviction, all those things that, those milestones in your life, your first tattoo. And but I cannot wait for my Wirral Odyssey with Mr. Roberts. I can't wait.
Just give me the nod. We will go to the Camel Social Club.
Yes.
We'll go to Roydon Park. We'll go to Shell, something to eat. We'll do the full half man, half biscuit tour. Yeah, 100%. It's on.
Oh, mate. Yes,
just give me the nod, mate, anytime. Has anyone got any pizza? I mean, Rudy's is a fantastic suggestion. The American pizza slice in town is really good, actually. Just for one while you're on the hoof. Anyone got?
Do you know what? I was never one for going out for pizza. I was more like I used to go South Road in Waterloo, and always go to the Greek or the Mexican Lapperia. Lapperia is amazing down there, and I think they've got another one open now as well somewhere else.
The Greek one, is that the one on the Dock Road?
No, it's do you know where Waterloo train station is? And that's South Road there near Crosby. It's down that way. There's a Greek there. It's spot on. Yeah, it's really good. You go
do you know what I'm thinking? Waterloo Dock. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no. This is by Crosby Beach up that way. So I never really squall for pizzas. However, when I used to go to uni in Edgehill in Ormskirk, we used to always get a Scusi pizza. Now Ormskirk's probably a bit too far out for you all to go, especially if you're over in the Wirral as well. But Scusi in Ormskirk was fantastic. I used to always go there, and they do like pasta dishes as well. It's not a restaurant; it's more of a takeaway, but it's a step up from your kebab shop pizza. So that's the only place I can really think of. I've never been at a pizza place to go out to.
Yeah, I think the one I'm going to suggest is Crazy Pedro's.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's good as well.
Yeah, I think it's up by Seal Street. I've been in there. It's really good.
Mm.
The inside of it's like one of those ghetto golf places.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah, I've heard.
But the pizzas are spot on. Like, yeah, they're pretty out there. Yeah, that's a dead good one. So I think I will suggest that. Dan, any pizza recommendations?
No.
Any pizza topping recommendations?
No, do you know what? I had pizza this week in a little place in Bloomsbury that is kind of part of my family and my sort of adult life's sort of tree, in the sense that I got married in this restaurant. I've had 30th birthdays in it. I've probably been eating in it now for nearly 20 years. I work around the corner from it. We used to go in there every week. And my son had to go to Great Ormond Street this week. He's got a heart issue, and we have to go there every 6 months to get a thing done, echocardiogram and ECG and stuff. And they were so behind that they just said you can nip out for an hour. So we went to Ciao Bella, and we always have just pizza quick. It's really quick in there. It's really old school 60s Italian, trattoria kind of thing. Pictures of Sophia Loren on the wall, waiters in cashmere jumpers with bolognese all down the front. It's just mega. I love it. And my son was sitting there and he had his pizza in his hand and he went, I love Italy. And I went, do you? And he went, I think this is one of my favourite places in the whole world. And I went, oh, okay. He went, everybody's so nice and their accents are lovely. I just love Italy. And I went, oh yeah, well, it's pretty good, isn't it? He was just like, this is just a fabulous place, Dad. And I was just
nice
like,
thing to say.
I was just like, oh, okay, mate, yeah, cool, you know. And he was like, everybody knows us in here. Everybody's really friendly. I was just like, well, we've been bringing you in here since you were a baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my pizza experience this year, albeit in the West End.
Cool. I'm gonna give that a go next time I'm down, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of decent pubs on Lamb's Conduit Street. You've got the Lamb, the Rugby, Perseverance. There's 2 or 3 decent pubs around there. There's a wicked little pub called the Duke, which is it's in a little mews around the back where Charles Dickens used to live, Doughty Mews.
Okay.
And it's like a corner pub, an Art Deco corner pub, and it's tiny. It's so small that at this time of year they hang their Christmas tree upside down from the ceiling, so it goes like that.
Oh, nice.
That's a good space saver, that.
Yeah, so it hangs in the corner of the pub, inverted like that, with the star at the bottom, you know, like that. But yeah, mate, yeah, it's a good place. And Ciao Bella's a bit of a sort of that part of the world. It's a bit of an institution, really. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I will give you a shout next time I'm down. 100%. Right, that's it. That's it for this week's mailbag. Another lovely way to start an Everton free weekend. Thanks to Warren, thanks to Dan, thanks to Matt, who had to jump off because he's got other things to do, apparently. What else could he have to do? I don't know. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.